The line between can and probably shouldn't is often blade thin. However, nothing brings me more joy than being able to balance on it like I'm fucking Yuzuru Hanyu at the Grand Prix final of figure skating. Several ridiculously expensive therapy sessions I was forced to endure a few years ago concluded that my favorite outrageous behaviors are just a lost, lonely adolescent's cry for help. One time it did end in an actual sobbing from her, as I ate that pussy like it was a full-time job and I needed the overtime. Gotta confess. There are very few things I love more than being face-deep in the shit, which is the main reason why I'm staring at my head coach's very grim, very pissed-off expression. Knew I should have waited to mouth-fuck that volleyball player until we got back to her place instead of in what we thought was an empty locker room. It's like never really an empty locker room, even in our barn. The number of times I've overheard one of the boys getting some or given some is fucking up there, pun intended. An empty locker room is just porn magic, plain and simple. Coach Styles gives his dark cocoa-colored temples a long, slow rub. Gillette, is your first thought in the morning, how can I give my coach a goddamn headache today? Actually, I twist my tattered green baseball cap backwards. It's, how do I get rid of a different kind of headache? His expression remains unamused as he reaches over to the nearby aspirin bottle. Without breaking his cold, hard eye contact, he flicks off the lid, takes out 2 pills, or at least I'm hoping it's only 2, and promptly swallows them. Dry, like the fucking beauty we've come to know. Not necessarily love, definitely respect, though. When Coach Joseph Styles moved up at the start of last season, it felt like we were living in some sort of B-class sports movie. One where he would be too tough and then we'd all see he was right. And then the bullshit would end with a heartbreaking, here's my plea to the academy moment in which we would pull together to win a championship. Yeah, that's not quite how that fucking nightmare went down. We did come home with that fucking F4 trophy, but it was far from an easy season, and tough isn't accurate enough for the level of hell we had to muscle through. Unlike his predecessor, Coach Cannon, who only had his retirement on the brain, Styles put our asses through the goddamn grinder. We hurt, we bled, we hurled. And then we got our asses up the next day to repeat the shit. He groomed a team of winners by weeding out the weak. Those who failed piss tests, had shit attitudes, or were just laughably lazy, and pushed those of us with drive to strive for more than we ever had before.